therefore inciting similar actions by others against those people?
So, Chris, first and foremost, I'd really like to shout out to my colleagues Peter Wertheim and Robert Good, who've courageously brought actions in the federal court before the Human Rights Commission against hate clerics such as this. And we hope to see good outcomes in those. People don't realise the courage and the resources that are required, and it's really unfortunate that we as a community are having to bring those cases and use civil laws because the criminal laws supposedly are not fit for purpose in this area. The Executive Council of Australian Jury has been campaigning for a change to the law you referred to. We'd like to see a law around promotion of hatred. The problem with the current laws on incitement is that, by and large, they have two mental elements required, and they've proven to be virtually impossible to use. If we look back over the years since these laws were brought into force, we haven't seen successful prosecutions. We are continuing to see the kinds of acts that we saw on October the 8th. And it's been confirmed time and time again that the current laws don't actually catch those acts. We believe, a lot of the hatred that's happening today is happening in online spaces, on online platforms, and often the language that's used is subtle and coded. We know from historical experience during the Holocaust, other genocides, we know that the way that people who wish to incite violence communicate is often coded, and the people that they're communicating to understand what it is that they're saying, but they may not go into the details of what sorts of actions they're envisaging, but people still act on the hatred that they're promoting. So for that reason, we've been encouraging changes in those laws, both at the state and federal levels. We don't think that the proposals currently that have been put forward go far enough. And there's also exemptions, which we have a real problem with. How can there be any kind of good faith academic exemption, when you go about promoting hatred? So we're pushing really hard on that, and we hope that we will see change in that area because we recognise that at the moment the police actually have a challenge on their hands. But that said, even if the laws aren't fit for purpose, we would like to see tougher action when people are promoting hatred, not just by the police but also through the platforms. For months now, I have been communicating with many platforms about the hatred amongst many qualified medical professionals that is being espoused online, Australian consultants. And a lot of the content hasn't been removed, and it's just case by case. I have to spend hours and hours going after these people every day who are targeting Jewish colleagues, etc. And, there's always very empathetic platitudes that I receive in response, but the actions are often lacking. So I think we do need to see a change in the law in this area.
Well, let's stay on hate speech because whether we like it or not, well, let me start that again. The criminalising of speech is a difficult issue and it raises all sorts of compromises with other freedoms. But we do live under perhaps the false apprehension in this country that hate speech is criminalised and we're not seeing many prosecutions. So I want to go 24 hours on